Hey everyone, Sunday night rant. I'm just going to just tune in as we get people coming in. I'm really excited tonight to talk about a few subjects, and I'll do that normal 30-second wait while we get people come in. And tonight I'm going to talk to you. Hey Thomas, so good to see you. Tonight we're going to talk about 5 lessons that Steve Jobs has taught me. Hey Billy, nice to see you. Stephen Lawrence, how you going? Good stuff. Just get this audience building up. Hey Jeffrey, how you going? Neil, Sam Leprodo, let's go, he says. Okay, getting pumped. By the way, if you ever... Hey gorgeous, hey Julia, Stephen Gray, long time follower on social media. Meron, how you going? Okay, Matt Newley, good to see you. Sam Thompson, here we go. Chevy, don't wait, go Tom, let's go Jimmy Kerr. Okay, so I want to talk to you about Karl Stefanovic separating. So Karl Stefanovic is the Channel 9 host on the show today, and many of you may know Karl Stefanovic from that show over the last few years. Hey Elliot, how you going? Jimmy, here it comes. Danny Hayes. Hey everyone, you've got to watch $1 Million Bogan on Danny Hayes' page. Watch that. It will make you laugh. It is better than TV. It is better than watching Karl Stefanovic, who I'm about to talk about. So let me tell you a little bit about Karl Stefanovic. The guy today in the Sunday Press, one of the papers that I work with, News Corporation, of course, the Telegraph, reported that Karl Stefanovic is separating after 25 years of marriage. So the thing I want you to understand is that as you read that article about Karl Stefanovic, I want people to understand Karl Stefanovic separating is actually none of your fucking business. It's none of my fucking business. Madonna adopting another baby is really irrelevant in your life. Brad Pitt adopting another baby with his wife, Angelina Jolie. Hey, that's not your business, right? So what I want you to understand is what is your business is your marriage. What is your business is not what people have done with their kids, your kids. And I think too many people spend their time and energy living this external reality life. That's why these reality TV shows have got so much caption. It's like people are comatized in their own life, and what they do is that they live other people's lives on an external point of view. So what other people are doing really doesn't affect or impact you. But the minute you start focusing on the things that do impact you, you notice that your life absolutely changes. So I've got no comments to make about Karl Stefanovic separating because he's one of millions. I don't know what the divorce rate is, close to 50%. But what I'm saying is that it's none of your business. What business is your marriage. What business is your business is what you're doing in your life. And that's the Karl Stefanovic bit. The next bit I want to talk to you about today is Steve Jobs. So I watched a documentary on Apple and Steve Jobs, and I'm an Apple user. I love Apple products. I have 2 Apple iPhones. I have an iPad. I have a MacBook. This is being filmed on an iPhone as we speak. And I actually have incorporated 5 lessons out of Steve Jobs in my own life over the last 5-10 years. And I'm going to share those with you because I think that those 5 lessons have been game changers for me. I think that if you incorporate them in your personal life, in your business, that they're going to be game changers for you. So I want to go through it. Lesson number 1 that Steve Jobs said is follow your heart. Follow your heart. think about this. When you follow your heart, you love doing what you're doing. And when you love doing what you're doing, it's effortless. And when something is effortless, you do more of it. And when you do more of it, you get a lot of practice. And when you get a lot of practice, you become great at it. So there's actually science and logic to actually making decisions based on heart versus head. And what I'm going to say to you is that, when you're madly passionate about something, what you do is you test the boundaries at it. What you want to do is you become the world's best. And when you become the best, no matter what it is, you could actually become an expert at teaching 11-year-old kids to draw pictures, and that is your profession. And what actually happens is that you specialize, and when you specialize and you get so much practice, you absolutely smash it. So lesson number 1 is follow your heart. Lesson number 2, that's Steve Jobs, and he actually talks about a lot of these lessons in that great speech. So you must, at the end of my video, Google the Steve Jobs speech that he's given at a college. Lesson number 2 that Steve Jobs gave is this, and that is trust yourself. Because think about it, if you don't pick you, how will someone else pick you? That's an interesting concept. That if you don't back yourself, how do you expect someone else to back you? And I see that in real estate all the time. When you have a real estate agent, if a real estate agent can't go to a listing presentation and pick themselves, how do you expect the vendor to pick them? So I would say this, make sure that no matter what you're doing, that you're all in, that there's no plan B. Burn the fucking bridges. Don't have option B on your plan. Don't have a get out clause. The other thing I was going to say is don't make failure an option. Pretend that is not an option. In fact, what I would say is this question is a game changer in your life. This question is a game changer. If I knew I couldn't fail, what would I do? If I knew I couldn't fail, what would I do? That is a game. I'm gonna practice to swear less. That is a game changer. That is a game changer. The next one is what Steve Jobs taught us is this. Specialize, and that is don't become everything to everyone because you become no one to anyone. Specialize, and if you look at what Apple do, Apple could be doing lots and lots of things, but essentially it's a handful of products. iPhones, iPads, MacBooks, right? And an iWatch. I forgot, I told you, I've got an iWatch as well. But what they do is, all they do is they specialize in a bunch of products and they leave the rest to other people. And this is a really good learning, because basically what it says is too many people are trying to become everything to everyone. What you want to do is you want to become world class in something, specialization. So if you actually have a look at in my own life. So I've been working since uni days, right? So I'm in the workforce now about 30 years. What is the common thing? It has always been real estate. Why? Because even today at 2 o'clock when I was sitting at a party down the road, I have to tell you, I do not get tired of talking about the subject. People are sitting there. On a Saturday, I'm flipping through press, looking at what's on the market. I love it. Right? So everything I've done has been real estate. So let's actually have a look at it. What have I done? I've been in franchising, in real estate, ran my own business from the age of 22, opened up an office, real estate. Was in sales before that, real estate. Training and coaching, real estate. What's the common theme? I do stuff that I love at. And the reason I'm good at it is because I'm so pumped about it that I read everything there is on it. I read blogging, right? And that is why I have to tell you, it doesn't matter where you are in the world, if you Google real estate coaching, real estate training, Tom Panos is going to come up normally number 1 and number 2 search. Normally and I don't pay Google a fucking single cent because they're overpriced. Because in 2009, Google was cheap, but now what's happened is they have taken the big money from companies like realestate.com, RP Data, CoreLogic, so you can't compete with them, right? I will not give them a single cent, but I don't lose in search engine marketing, but I win in search engine optimization, because that game is not about ads. And what's really interesting is that people and consumerism in 2016 have moved on from ads. Think about this concept. Do people care about the brochure from the Intercontinental Hotel in Fiji? They don't give a flying fuck about what they say. What they care about is what people have said on TripAdvisor. So people are going to go listen to John and Sarah Smith from Bundaberg, who they don't even know, and they don't even know whether these people exist, but they will listen to what they've said about the hotel. And yeah, you got this poor marketing manager working for the Intercontinental Hotel that's done a $5 million budget that no one's going to pay attention to. Why? Because in the new world, people do not listen to the corporation. They listen to other consumers. This is a very key learning, and it tells us that the power now is with the consumers. The power is there with you. You're a consumer watching it. The power is with you and what you say to the market, what you say to other people. Whether you go and tell other people and say, watch Sunday Night Rant, that affects the behavior of other people. Which reminds me, guys, girls, I don't ask for much, but I'd love you to share this. I'd love you to share it. And if you don't share it, that's okay as well, because I'm not getting paid a fucking cent anyway. It's all good. Okay. So let's move on to lesson number 4. What did we learn from Steve Jobs? Still great ideas. Plagiarize, steal, and make them better. Never be ashamed. Everyone's stealing. Think about it. You steal off your parents when you're a kid. They're teaching you ideas. What are you doing? You're stealing concepts. You're stealing ideas from teachers. You're stealing ideas from Google. You're stealing ideas from other people. But what you do is you take an idea and you make it better and you make it yours and you add value. And what do great people do in 2016? They don't necessarily come up with the concept. They become a curator, like a DJ. What actually happens is, Daniel Hayes has asked, is my room soundproof? No, it's not. But let me tell you, this house is crazy anyway. So let's move on and just say unashamedly, pinch ideas and make them yours. And all the ideas are out there. But remember this, you know what you know, but do you do what you know? Remember that. You know what you know, but do you do what you know? The ideas are there. Lesson number 5. This is what I've learned. Steve Jobs said this: work hard to make it simple. Work hard to make it simple. What did we learn? Think about it. Apple, iPhone, Samsung. What we know is, talk to any tech geek, they will show you that there is better functionality, there are better features to a tech geek on a Samsung phone than an iPhone. But I have to say to you, an iPhone is easier to use. An iPhone is more humanized. So what we clearly know is become the easiest person to deal with. Become the most human person to deal with. The most intuitive person to deal with. So make it, work really hard to make something simple, right? And someone posted, as we were speaking on here, someone said the 10,000 hour rule. And I want to talk about the 10,000 hour rule. I want to talk about that rule because the 10,000 hour rule says that if you're going to become the best at the best in your field, that you are going to have to put 10,000 hours into it. Right? That you have to play the long game. I've said it before. You know what gives me the shits? When I keep seeing all these people, all these young guys and girls particularly, that are in this mode, oh Tom, it's all about the hustle. It's all about the hustle. They actually say more about the hustle than fucking actually hustling. Right? Hustle is not saying. Hustle is doing. That is what hustling is. And I've got to tell you, the 10,000 hour rule is this, The 10,000 hour rule says that if you're going to become the best at the best in your field, that you are going to have done 10,000 hours of practice. Which brings me to an interesting point, because the other day I did an auction that lasted for like 75 seconds, and it sold for hundreds of thousands over the reserve. And the vendor said to me at the end of the auction this: Tom, thank you so much, but $500 or thereabouts for 60 seconds work? And I looked at him and I just said, you know those 60 seconds? It's taken me 25 years to get it into 60 seconds. He stared at me and he said, thank you. And that was it. Okay. My final thing I'm going to talk to you tonight, and it's a sensitive subject to me, and that is that this 60-second conversation changed my life. In 2006, when I was going through chemotherapy, at chemo, day one, a man, and I've never seen this man ever before, I've never seen him ever again. This man came up, sat next to me at the chemo chair, and he tried to be nice. He wasn't a patient. All he was a friend of the chemo unit. He got talking, and at one stage I just looked at him and I just said, hey, I just want to be alone. And he said, I know that. I knew that when you walked in, and I've been down your path before. And I have to tell you, I thought to myself, this guy's been knocked down my path. My life was perfect on the Friday, and before you know it, I'm sitting there having chemo. And I looked at him and I said, look, I just want to be alone. He got up and he looked at me and he says, I'm going to go now. But remember, the future is going to be better than the present. And you've got the power to make it so. God bless you. I have to say to you, I've been at university. I've done more personal development courses than most people. I train, I lead a lot of literature on positive psychology. But can I say to you, they're the most important 2 successful beliefs you can have. And I learnt them that day in 30 seconds. The future is going to be better than the present. And you've got the power to make it so. As I finish off tonight's rant, I don't know where you're at in your life. I get a lot of calls from people and emails and private messages that people are going through various challenging periods. I want to say to you, the future's going to be better than the present. You've got the power to make it so. Make your future bigger and better than your past. Sometimes when things are falling apart, they're actually falling together. Difficult roads lead to beautiful destinations. And never, ever let your personal history get in the way of your destiny. And the last thing is, think possibility, not probability. God bless. See you next week.